Hi, I just wanted to take a moment to thank our sponsors at overdogsbet.com. Make sure to head over to overdogsbet.com/beta for early beta access and free play.
I feel like the boxers should take the approach of the UFC. You know, everybody fights everybody, but a loss doesn't let anybody discourage them. That's why I have so much respect for the UFC fighters, bro, because you'll see somebody take a big loss and then a couple months later, they're right back at the top. At the end of the day, we just want to see the best out of the best, and I want to challenge myself because I want to be the best as well. And that's why I like you so much as a fighter, bro. You're like the definition of a brawler.
That leads me into something that I was really curious about from you. You are so successful in the ring. I was just curious as to how you have your money working for you outside of the ring. Are you in business? Are you passionate about any businesses and things like that? Overdogs, episode 20. Let's go, baby. Sponsored by Overdogs Bet. Kenpai Pandas, Kenpai Media. We got the bags of diamonds, Mr. Ice Bags.
Mr. 305.
Mr. 305. And we got Mac Malley, King of New Mexico.
Let's go. What's up, lads? We're back.
We're back, boys. I love it. And I love it when we get these guests, man. I'm glad Mike pulled this off. Fucking Benavidez.
Kind of a big deal, isn't it? Kind of a big deal.
I was thinking earlier, I was like, I want to tell people about this shit. I want to be excited about it. Blah, blah, blah. I want to do things like post on Twitter. What type of things would you like to see? And then, we did that for Dreekus, and it's like, we still working on getting that one together. Because as soon as y'all said something about it, UFC was like, nope, you need to do media right now. Mm-hmm. Right now, sir. You can't talk to them.
Technically, this is media. He should have, that's what I'm doing. See you guys in an hour. But it is what it is. We'll get him on. He's coming.
Yeah.
All
so
right,
I did talk to Roy Jones. So he said he's going to try to sneak on. It's his birthday today, but he was like, yeah, if I can find 15 minutes when Benavidez is on, I think they're pretty good friends. He's like, then I'll definitely sneak in. So it'd be fun to surprise him if he does.
Couple legends on here, man. That's huge.
Couple 1-2 legends.
So he's only the second boxer we've had, right? But I guess we're only doing GOAT boxers as well, Haney and Benavidez.
Yeah, right. Like the two GOATs.
I feel like RJJ called in one time, or was it just the time you FaceTimed him and you screen recorded it and put it on Instagram? RJJ's made an appearance, but I don't remember if it was on a podcast.
No, that was it was right after the Ngannou Fury fight, and he was in Saudi Arabia.
That's right. Okay, yeah. He's made a cameo, kind of, but word.
But absolutely one of my favorite people on the planet. Really nice guy, and obviously, all the accolades.
Unless he's punching you.
Unless he's punching you in the face.
And then
Mike, did you ever really play the Fight Night games?
Oh yeah.
What was better? Did you like those or the UFC games better?
I definitely liked Fight Night, bro. Round 4.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Fight Night. Yeah, bro. Fight Night was crazy. With the head movement, you make a miss in slow motion, you pop them and the sparks fly. Oh,
Flash?
So
yeah,
fire,
dude.
Bro. So fire.
It still holds up. You can still play that shit on Xbox Live. Yeah. Right
People
call.
was telling me last night, my dumb ass was like, I kind of believed it for a second. They were like, bro, you're on UFC 5. And I was like, no, I'm not. I'm on UFC 5. I was like, I was downloadable content for UFC 4. They're like, no, you're on there, bro. When you buy the game, you're on there, Mike Perry. And then, I looked on YouTube, and it was like, there was a Mike Perry, and I was fighting Leon Edwards, and it had, a good clip of, the fight was back and forth. We knocked each other down, and I'd get up, and he'd get up, and we all the way to the end of the fight, and there was less than a minute left in the round, and it froze and cut out right when they were about to hit each other, and you were gonna see, and it cut out, and it was like, oh well, we'll have to reset the game, and it wasn't even me. It was a created character that somebody made it to be me.
What?
I'll-
Wait, so
I'll
you're
take
not
it,
on
bro.
5? You're not on 5? I could have sworn you were on 5. I barely
Mike,
played 5.
What's
See,
it
I don't
like,
know
Mike,
now.
when you?
Why would I
think
be
you
on
might
5?
be
Why would
because
they put
dude,
me on 5?
they had like John Dodson still on 5.
Why?
That's
yeah,
the only
but
like flyweight I
John Dodson was in the UFC for a minute, and he was a company guy, not like his own entity. Like, I don't know.
I'm gonna go turn on my Xbox and find this out right now. I can still hear you.
I mean, they have put some older fighters on there, but I'll guarantee you this: they ain't putting your ass on there with the success you're having outside of the UFC. Like that ain't fucking happening.
I'm wondering, dude. I'm like, why
No
though?
way.
Why?
They don't like it, man.
They don't want me to get extra love.
Nah.
Why? I'm
zero.
still gonna have to go back to a job after fucking fighting.
So
Mike
tell me
Perry,
this,
if you
Mike,
weren't fighting, what would you do? What do you think you would do if you weren't a fighter? That's a fucking.
That's
question
what
I'd
I
love to
would
hear.
like. That's a question I would like to ask our guest today. What it is he does and deals with in and out or outside of the ring. You know, like other than family. Like, what is your passion with business, things like that. I would probably be a construction worker.
What would you specialize in? What type of construction? Concrete guy?
I used to pour walls and do concrete work on like swimming pools. I used to remodel swimming pools.
Nice.
I would drive the truck, man. I would mix the mud, all the guys, and I would roll out the hoses and it would pump the mud all the way to the pool. And one time, it was like the worst thing that happened. I was trying to fix the motor to the pump and the mixing machine, and I needed to siphon some gasoline. And like I thought if you put, and I didn't put my hand over the other hole, right? So I put this hose in there and I blow, and I'm not covering the other hole. I don't know if I blew and I covered it, maybe it would have worked. But so then I suck. I sucked this tube with gasoline in it. Instant. But I got the machine to work. I got the flow to work, and I fixed the machine with this siphon. But I was on the ground for 20 minutes, bro. I drank a little bit of gasoline, and it almost took me out. It almost killed me.
Dude,
I bet you can't wait to get back to that job, Mike.
is sucking gas.
Dying to, huh?
Yes, sir. What's
what's
up,
up, dude?
champ?
How you guys doing?
Wow. Amazing, brother. Great to see you, man.
Yeah, likewise, man. Thank you guys for inviting me onto the podcast, bro. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for coming. Hey, shout out to your cousin, the customs page. She makes the best boxing shoes, custom shoes. Oh man, the name of her page is slipping my mind.
Oh, my sister. Yeah,
Is
the
that
True
your
Essence.
sister?
Yeah,
I thought
that's
it
my
was-
little sister.
That's your sister. What is the
Yeah.
page name?
True Essence.
True Essence
Yeah.
Customs. Yes,
Yeah.
she makes the best stuff, man. I'm getting my next ones from her. And I, cause you the man. So I was like, yo, what does David wear? So I copped a pair of Supremes.
Yeah, she does her work pretty clean, bro. I think she's coming on 3 years of doing her own stuff, and I'm really proud of her too, bro. She makes some really clean work. So
Absolutely.
yeah, if you want to look fly in your next fight, bro, I'd recommend you go to her.
Oh, I'm definitely am for sure. I'm trying to figure out my color combination now, and like, how it's she must have a lot of work on her hands because a lot of people have been. I mean, she posts new shoes that she's doing like every day. How does she keep up with that?
Well, like I said, like it's like how you just want to get better and better. The more work you get, the better you get. So I mean, I tell her sometimes she gets overwhelmed a little bit, but I'm like, hey, it just comes with the territory. You want to be the best at what you do, you got to embrace all these challenges. So she started with me, and then and then she started getting more other bigger names in the game of boxing, and then I think she's even doing bare knuckle too. She's doing some people in bare knuckle. So yeah, she's going up, man. I'm really proud of her.
That's awesome, man. That leads me into something that I was really curious about from you, because you are so successful in the ring, and I know I was just curious as to what you have, how you have your money working for you outside of the ring. Are you in business? Are you passionate about any businesses and things like that?
So right now, what I'm doing, I'm getting into the real estate game. You know, I'm going on my second property. You know, I bought my first house. You know, I bought it cash, and then, you know, later on in the future, when it, you know, start renting them out, do Airbnb or, you know, rent them long term. And then I got my clothing company. I got my own merch, and then what I really want to get into in the future is I want to get my own restaurant. So that's what we're going towards. But yeah, those are the only things I got right now. What about you? What do you have? Do you have anything like that for, do you have any businesses, or what do you do with your money?
You know, I currently, man, thanks to my guys here, Ice Bags, and Mr. McMalley, thanks to Kim Pipe Media and Overdogs Podcast. You know, I have this podcast right now. You know, hopefully I make it work out for me, but I'm constantly thinking about business, something to, and also, you know, this reminds me, because we're kind of similar in this way, where you and your wife just had your second baby, and you had a boy first and then a little girl, and that same thing happened for us. We had a boy first, and now that little girl, she's different. Mine is so different. She looked at me differently, and you know, I want to get my wife something that she can have, that she can call hers, like a business that she can work on and things like that. You know, so a family type business. Restaurants definitely fun. Like, if you made a restaurant, what type of food would you make? Would it be Mexican
That's what I
food?
wanted to ask.
To be honest with you, so we're big fans of Mexican food over here, and I love mariscos. I don't know if you guys have ever ate those. Mariscos, a Mexican seafood, but that's the best. Like the ceviche, aguachile, that would probably be our specialty, because that's what we love. So for like the things that I'm like we're doing now, I just want to, you know, get involved in the stuff that I love. You know, obviously, I love houses, I love properties and stuff. And then we're going to try to get into like food and all that. And then clothing is a big part of it too. My wife, she has her own clothing store. She's the one that actually taught me all this, taught me about the merch and all that stuff. So she's been having her clothing store for a couple years, and, you know, now she helped me with my clothing store. So we're just trying to get involved in like the things that we like, you know, the things that, you know, that get us excited.
Of course, that's great.
Yeah.
Man.
I mean, I can weigh in a little bit here, because, you know, my main business for 17 years is vacation rentals. So I've been in that business for 17 years at this point. Highly recommend everybody that's starting out, for sure. Start buying properties, start renting out properties. Like, you know, that constant income stream, you know, it stays steady. And then, you know, you usually catch appreciation on the backside when you sell the house later. Like, it's one of the smartest investments you can do. Now, I got smoked for like several mil in the fucking restaurant industry, so I'm staying out of that conversation.
So you suggest us to stay out of that too?
Man, I'm just telling you
that's
this.
your words of advice to us.
Yeah, right. So I mean, I'm like I know about both of these things. So yeah.
So
what
area would you say would be like the place for the properties where they appreciate more? Since you've been, you know, you've had so long of a.
Yes, I've been in Colorado, South Carolina, Scottsdale, and Florida is my bread and butter. So like the Northwest Panhandle, Destin area, Panama City Beach, like that's always been the best that I've ever seen in the United States.
Nice.
Wow.
So where are you from? Where are you from originally? I mean, you got some Mexican heritage somewhere.
Yeah, so I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. I was born and raised there, but I've been moving around my whole life. And I'm from my dad's side of the family, I'm Mexican, and from my mom's side, I'm Ecuadorian. Oh. But we started off in Phoenix, Arizona. We started off when I was about 2 years old. My brother was the one that started boxing before me. He started, and he's 5 years older than me, so he started like at 5 or 6. And then I just followed behind him. You know, I was just the little kid just trying to be like his big brother. Training in the backyards and stuff. And then my brother, he's the one who actually led the way, you know. So that's why I always give my brother the credit he deserves, because if it wasn't for him, then I wouldn't have been a boxer. You know, I was just trying to be like my older brother. You know, he's a badass. He's beating everybody's ass. And, you know, I just kind of want to follow in his footsteps. But then by the time we got to when my parents divorced when I was like 7 years old, and then my dad and my brother kind of did their own thing, and they went to Hollywood to train at the Wild Card boxing gym, and I was about 10. No, I was like 11, 12. And at this time, this was the first time where I had, I didn't have to train my whole life. I didn't have to train in that time. So it was like 2 years, a year and a half that I took off. And I just ballooned in weight, bro. I was like 150, 160, and I went all the way up to 250, 260. So I just became a big ass ball, bro, to be honest with you. And then I remember I went to school one morning. I was like in 6th grade, and I looked at myself in the mirror. I'm like, damn, I don't even know who I am no more. Like I'm huge. Like I made the decision. I told myself I'm either gonna hit a point of no return where I'm never gonna be able to lose the weight again, or I could go to California and I could just completely turn my life around. And that's how it was. That's why I moved to California with my dad and my brother. And fortunately, I was able to, train with all the best guys in the world. We're training at the Wild Card gym, where Manny Pacquiao was training. At the time, my brother was training Manny Pacquiao. So I got to soak all that in. I got to see all the big sparrings, and I got to learn a lot. And then from there, I was able to, spar these other big world champions. I was like 14 years old, but since I had all that experience from back then, I had like about 10 years boxing at that time, being at 13, 14. And then my dad was just training me just to get the weight off. And then he's like, hey, well, there's this guy over here. I think you could do pretty good with him. I'm like, what guy is it? I look over the side, bro. It's what's his name? Latif Coyote. He was a cruiserweight champion at that time. I'm like, damn, you want me to spar this guy? I'm like, you're kind of crazy, bro. But if you believe in me, then fuck it. I'll go in there. I'll put it all on the line. And that's just how we started to make our name. We had legendary sparrings in California, sparring all the older guys, all the older champions. And then from there, I went to, you guys know who Kelly Pavlik is? He was an old school world champion. He beat Jermaine Taylor. And I started sparring him, man. And I just got so much experience, bro. And it really elevated me to another level. And then from there, I went to Big Bear to spar Golovkin. I was 15 years old, and I ended up sparring him for like about 4 years. So I'm very grateful for all the experience I've gained over the years. And, because of that, I'm where I'm at right now.
That's really inspirational, though. I mean, legit. Like, if you were that young and that overweight, like, that's dangerously overweight at that age.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
No, yeah, it definitely is.
Anybody that's out there right now, 260 pounds, you can also, be a world champion boxer in the future.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's why I
mean, really probably happy. Not, but like potentially.
I feel happy too because I get like kids that are overweight and they tell me, you know what, bro, like because of you, I lost all this weight, and like you just been a real big motivation to me, and that makes me feel really good too because I definitely know how hard it is, but if somebody could take my story and apply it to their life, and because the only person that's standing in the way of you and your success is yourself. Basically. So I mean, it just makes me really happy that I could be a motivation to kids that are in the similar situations that I was.
For sure.
It's probably really, really rare to like have that self-awareness. Like I'm at a point of no return at that young age and actually stick to it and go through it. That's pretty rare. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think at the time too, it was just like, you're like, I was in 6th grade, so I was trying to, get these little girlfriends and shit. I'm like, damn, and I'm this big fat guy, I got to change my life. So in a funny way,
I either got to get funny as hell or I got to lose some weight. Like, it's
exactly.
I actually was just reading that on you yesterday, that happened. I'm like, damn, a 12-year-old kid, 250, 60 pounds. Like, I've never been able to get fat, and I've tried to eat. I couldn't even do it, but like it made me curious. I mean, obviously all the training, especially having the upper class training partners that were older and had been working longer than you. But like, like when it comes to your training regimen, do you lift weights? Like what makes you so strong? What makes you this monster? The pressure, the punches that you can take for Demetrius, the last fight you had, he was undefeated, he was fast, he was skilled, but like his punches couldn't even get through to you, and like you just seem so much stronger than your opponents.
Yeah, so I mean, the thing I always tell everybody, bro, that these fights that they're won in the training camp. You can't reach that level of ferociousness and velocity if you don't train hard. My training camps, bro, I swear to God, my training camps are all 3 to 4 month training camps. And that's going hard every single day. But because, I know it's my job to be in here, be as conditioned and be as strong as possible. I can't let my fans down. I can't do a half-ass training camp and then I don't look like how I'm supposed to look, But a lot of it too is the competition. I love being competitive, and I've always fought like that since I was a little kid. I don't go in there and try to win the fight. I try to beat the fuck out of whoever I'm in until they quit. And that's the way I fight. And that I could tell that's the way Mike fights too. I see you, you're like, I'm gonna take you out until, there's not gonna be you guys confusion of who won this fight. So I kind of let that steer me, and just at the end of the day, just wanting to be great, just wanting to be the best of my division and the best of my generation. I kind of let that motivate me, and that's the reason why I look how I look in my fights.
I mean, you do have a damn near 90% finish rate at this point.
Right. I mean,
Not
but
bad.
I'm saying though,
24 of 28, I
like
think,
specifically, like I will go to the gym. I will do some squats and some legs, and then the next day, like I might pump some iron lifts, do my arms and upper body, chest, and neck, and like.
So what I
stuff
do?
like that?
Yeah, no, I definitely do. I hire my strength and conditioning trainer, Memo Heredia. He used to work with Juan Manuel Marquez. He's a top strength and conditioning trainer in the boxing industry. So I kind of just let him handle all that. But we do squats, we do neck, we do all that stuff. So I just kind of let him, that's why I hire him to be in charge of all that. But we do all that. And then also what we do a lot too is we'll have like a training camp, like 3.5 months, 4 months. By the time that training camp is finished, I've ran like 250 miles, probably almost 300. We'll do close to 20 miles a week, and that's just through the whole. See, because that's basically what gives you your conditioning for the fight. You know what I mean? And if I want to come in as ready as possible, I got to run as much as I can. So, and then we'll also, in the sparrings too, we'll get like 3 or 4 different guys. I'll do 4 rounds with one guy, 4 rounds with another one, and the 4 rounds with another one. So that way they come in they all come in fresh after each one is done. And then it kind of lets you, when you're sparring in with a fresh guy, obviously he has more energy than you because he's fresh, he's just coming in. So that kind of makes you kind of shell up a little bit more. You have to figure them out more. You have to pay a little bit more attention. And, it just really just pushes you to the limit. And that's why I feel like I always come so conditioned to my fights because, like I said, we give 110% of the body in the training camps because like I said, the fights are won in the training camps.
Yeah, for sure. So like, for example, if you're running 20 a week, and say you do your one run session that day, how many miles would that session be? And then what would your time be total running?
We'll do like every time I run like at least 5 miles. 5 miles. We'll do that 4 times a week, so that's 20. And then I just do them jogs, bro. I don't really try to run too much. I don't really try to run too fast. But if we'll do them on the treadmill, it'll be like 6.3. I think a mile will take about an hour. I mean, 5 miles will take 5 or 6 miles will take an hour. So we kind of just take it slow. We're just building the conditioning.
And then the weight.
You usually do it on. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Mac. The weight must come off easily. I mean, you're running that much. How much do you cut for a fight if you can give up that information?
Yeah, so the weight comes off easy. The one thing that helps my weight come off easy is the dieting. If I don't do the dieting right, and if I don't drink 2 gallons of water every day, I'm fucked, basically. The water is the one that helps everything push everything out. So for people who are listening and they want to learn how to lose weight, you have to drink at least 1.5 gallons or 2 gallons of water a day. That's really what helps you. And you stay hydrated all day. So by the time I get to the end of the training camp, the fight week, I'll cut like about 10 pounds. 10 pounds. I'll lose like 25, 26 pounds the whole training camp. Well, what I have to lose when I sign the fight would be like maybe 27 pounds. And then I'll lose maybe 20 through the training camp. And then the last week would be another 10. Well, you already know if you do everything right with the water manipulation and all that, it comes off easy.
Right. of course, and the
So I
training.
got a question for you. What do you
work.
think about the current landscape in boxing right now? And I've talked to I talked to Roy Jones Jr. quite extensively about this, and he was like, back in my day, you just had to fight the best, right? It was like next up, you just had to take the fucking fight, and then for a while, it seemed to get away to like. Now you had all these different belts, and those people were dodging fights, and the best fights that people wanted to see weren't coming together. But I kind of feel like we're getting back into like maybe a new golden age of boxing here, where the big fights are starting to happen again. You know what I mean? So what are your thoughts on the current landscape?
So I definitely do feel like right now the best fights are being made. Back then, probably like maybe 10 years ago, a lot of people didn't want to fight each other, and there was just so much different promotion companies, this and that, and so much different types of belts. What I don't agree on of the belts is that there's just too much fucking belts. Yeah. If you have the WBC, the IBF, the WBO, and the WBA, all four of those belts, they have 3 belts under them. So it'll be the world champion, the world title, and then it'd be the interim, the interim, and then the silver. So it's like 2 interims before you get to the world title. So I don't really agree on that. I feel like there should only be 1 title in each organization. And but then you got to look at it this way, bro. These belts, they all get a piece of the pie. They all got their sanctioning fees. You know what I mean? So that's why every fucking fighter that they fight that has a belt or any type of belt, they charge them 3%. So they're making a lot of money. So I don't think that's ever going to end. But they're just making a shitload of money like that. But as of where the landscape of the boxing is right now, I feel like we're getting into a good another good year. We had some great fights last year, so I feel like everybody just knows now that if they want to make the most money, they have to fight the best of the best. That's the only way you're gonna get pay-per-view sales up, and you know what I mean. People want to make the most money they can make. They got to fight the best of the best. But some of these guys, bro, they're too caught up in that Floyd. Like they want to be undefeated. They want to be this and that. They don't ever want to take losses. They never want to take chances like that. I feel like it doesn't really matter about the loss. It really matters how you come back after the loss. You know what I mean? So I feel like now, the fighters are starting to get into that a little bit more. And, we're starting to see it. There's great fights are happening. And, I'm just excited to be in this era of making these great fights happen.
Such a dog
I've always found
bro.
that. Yeah, I've always found that a little silly. And I think it was the promoters really that started that, right? It was like, we're gonna give you a bunch of nobodies and run your record up because we can't have a loss on your record. But I mean, when you get to the top level, like if you're constantly fighting the best guys, like you're eventually probably gonna lose a fight, and it shouldn't be a stain on somebody's career, right?
Anthony Joshua finally lost, and he's still a star. Like Anthony Joshua, there you go, right there. Yeah.
In the UFC,
and you know what?
You don't go undefeated.
That's why I have so much respect for like the UFC fighters, bro, because you'll see somebody take a big loss and then a couple months later they're right back at the top fighting for belts and shit. So I feel like we should the boxers should take the approach of the UFC, the UFC, the MMA fighters. Everybody fights everybody, but a loss doesn't let anybody like discourage them. They're all still going back trying to win the belt again. So that's what I do like about the UFC. I feel like the boxing should go towards, that. Like how the UFC fighters do it.
They could both learn something from each other, honestly. Some MMA fighters could take less fights, and some boxers could definitely take more. 100%.
Yeah.
There's a balance.
So I was interested. I wanted to ask you, Mike, how do you feel with that bare knuckle shit, bro? It's just like some barbarian shit, bro. How do you feel? Like how do you like feel like? What's the experience like?
I fucking love it. I love it, man, because it seems so real, and it like gets your heart pumping, and I practiced for it. Obviously, like the first fight I had really hurt my hands a lot, like hitting him in the head, and and he was experienced. The first guy I fought had 9 bare knuckle fights, so he knew that if he had to get hit, he wanted it to be like his forehead. And like he had a huge cut in the middle of his forehead from me hitting him, but it definitely beat up my hands. And like by the 5th round, I was like, oh my God, it'd be so hard to hit him again. But like I started practicing after that, make sure I tighten my fists up. I wrap my hands differently when I put gloves on now. And I practice more bare knuckle as well as, with gloves on. The way that I wrap, I leave my knuckles exposed so my knuckles don't get wrapped. And sometimes, I'll beat up on my knuckles for a little while and then I'm like, damn, I'm going to protect them now. I'm going to wrap them and cover them up. And I still got to worry about, actually the owner of the company, David Feldman, he gave me a hint and a clue after my first fight. And he was like, when these guys, because like in boxing gloves, I feel like your fingers, you be open sometimes and then you try to close your fist on contact. But like in bare knuckle, that just wasn't working. It was fucking my hands up. So he was like, these guys, when they punch, they squeeze their fists as hard as they can. And I mean, my last fight, the opponent, he got some shots off on me, but like I know how to take a punch and
and that's why I like you so much as a fighter, bro. You're like the definition of a brawler. And I've been watching your fights, man. You're like the man of bare knuckle. You fucking beat Venom Page, then you beat what's the other guy's name? Rock Cold, man. You just been fucking killing it over there, bro. So congratulations.
Thank you, bro. I really appreciate it.
We're fans of you, bro. We watch you a lot. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying, man. It was just an honor having you call me and being on the podcast. I really appreciate it.
An honor. Look at this guy, bro. You so fucking humble, bro. That's why you are a great champion. You deserve it, man. I hope you get the Canelo fight. I don't know. I mean, you might not get that because he's like, nah, never mind. I ain't trying to. He made enough money. He don't need to make the most money possible.
He needs to. Roy said David's been chasing him for a while, and Canelo needs to accept, man.
Yeah, man. Like I said, like at the end of the day, we just want to see the best out of the best, and I want to challenge myself because I want to be the best as well. So this guy, man, I've been having the belt. I've been number one in the WBC to fight for his belt for the past 3 years. And he just keeps giving me the turnaround, bro. So I'm like, what the fuck? Like, should I go up and wait or should I just stay here? Like, it makes no sense no more. But like I said, we're going to keep trying to get the fight. Hopefully this year it's looking looking really solid. We might get it this year. Probably not in May, but maybe in September. But we're fucking working hard, bro. So whenever it happens, you guys better be ready to see a hell of a fight.
Oh, yeah, for sure, brother. That would be incredible. But so I don't know, I do the bare knuckle now, and I used to fight UFC, MMA stuff, and that kind of taught me a lot. There was my learning curve there. I had to deal with all the kicking and the grappling and everything, and it made me think about asking you about, the influencer boxing scene. For example, Francis Ngannou is fighting these boxers now, and he had a great fight against Tyson Fury. Jake Paul actually finally fought a boxer. He used to fight MMA guys. He been ducking me. And maybe you can help with this. I need to put the gloves on and get in that influencer boxing ring and fight me a real boxer with the 10-ounce boxing gloves on, maybe some grants. You should tell WBC who I should come over there and fight because I'm such a fun fighter to watch.
Yeah, I'll let him know, bro. I'll be sure to talk to Al Heyman. I'll put a good word in for you.
Yeah, let's go, my dog. Appreciate it.
Where you stay? What city you stay at? You're in Florida?
We are in Orlando, Florida. I'm in Orlando, Florida.
All right, I'm probably gonna go over there soon. I'll send you a message so we can link up.
If you come to Disney World, if you bring the family to Disney World, bro, please reach out and I'll bring my family. We could all just have a fun family day, and then me and you could go punch each other. I would love to get punched
have a
by
good
you,
sparring
bro.
session.
It'd be amazing.
Yeah, that would be dope.
I would love, because I could take a hit, bro, so I want to see with that
we get it.
monster power.
Did they ever bring it back fight night?
Go ahead, Matt.
You heard of? Are they bringing back fight night? Can we get some boxers calling for this shit?
They actually been telling me about this game. It's gonna come out in May. I think. What was the game called? Undisputed. Yeah, so it's gonna be like fight night type things, and I think it's kind of like a reboot from fight night. So, yeah, I'm excited for that, man.
That's fire. So, you've gotten to spend some time with the great Mike Tyson. He apparently is the one who gave you the nickname. What's that
Mexican
like?
monster.
Yeah, what's that like, man? What's Mike like, and what's it like? Did he teach you some things that you use in the ring?
Yeah, so Mike Tyson, bro, when I met him, bro, I was in awe. That's when I went to go do I think I did his podcast. When my first time I met him, and bro, that guy, bro, you could just tell by how much stuff he's been through his life, and you could tell that he just wants to help everybody. He was giving me a lot of advice, specifically, talking about money and how you should treat your family, this and that, and it's just every time he talks, bro, I just listen to everything he says, and it's just an honor for me to be around a fighter that I looked up to my whole life. And for him to actually give me my nickname is just fucking, it's insane. So now that every time I see him it's just love, bro. I feel like, he's really been like a part of my family now because he just shows love to me every time he sees me. I'm just very happy to have him in my corner. Also, I've had the opportunity to meet a lot of like great legends in the sport, like Oscar De La Hoya. He's a fucking tremendous guy. Marco Antonio Barrera, Julio Cesar Chavez. So just like meeting all these guys, bro, it just gives me like the more motivation that I need to keep going and keep pushing and letting myself know that I'm on the right direction. So it's just awesome, man. Every time I see these guys, they just show so much love and support that it's really a blessing.
Getting your nickname from Mike Tyson is like all-time shit, dude. That's so dope.
Right?
That's
Yeah.
all-time shit.
If Mike gives you a nickname, you damn sure using it.
Well, as long as it's a good one, it's
Yeah,
not
exactly.
like fucking Twinkle Toes or something over there. Like, like,
Still using it.
yeah, for real.
Man.
So tell me this, because I saw you put out a post the other day, and you were like, asking about some of the fights that I guess, potential matchups, right? Like what do you want to see, right? So out of those fights, you had like Haney versus Tank. You had Fury versus Usyk. Obviously that one's happening. Obviously you and Canelo. What are the fights that you really want to see right now? Is Tank and Haney one of them?
Yeah, so to be honest with you, the Usyk and the Gypsy King, that's one of the big fights I want to see. That fight's gonna be amazing. I want to see Tank and Haney, and I also want to see Ryan and Ryan Garcia and Haney, bro. Mm-hmm. I think there's just right now we're just in a sport in a spot in boxing that all these fights they look like they're gonna be made, bro. Probably this year, next year. So like I said, that's why we're in a good position right now. Especially me as a boxing fan. At the end of the day, I love to see the best of the best fight each other, and so I feel like we're in a good year. It looks like all these fights are going to happen this year.
Yeah,
what did you think
phenomenal.
What did you think about Ngannou's performance? Because it's mostly
for
the MMA fans.
Ngannou, yeah. I feel like he might beat a lot of these guys out here, bro. To be honest with you, Ngannou is just his technique is so good.
Really,
he looked like a boxer.
Yeah.
And then with his power too, so he's kind of like a Tyson Fury, where he could utilize all his body weight because he weighs like 280 pounds, 270 pounds. That's really big, bro. And he's like 6'9". You know what I mean? So he's gonna do a lot of damage in boxing, bro. I feel like he could beat a lot of these guys that he's gonna fight. The Anthony Joshua versus Ngannou, I'm kind of leaning towards Ngannou, bro.
Damn.
Ngannou, he's a fucking beast.
So you think his technique was like a lot of MMA fans are kind of just assuming maybe it's just like irregular because he's from MMA and then just the nuclear power in his hands. But you just sat there and said like
I had read back then that he started off boxing.
He wanted to, and his coach was like, "No, dude, you should get into MMA. You'll clear people." But he always wanted to box.
Yeah, so he's probably, when you do your stand up in UFC, you probably have to practice the boxing too. So he probably always stayed in tune in that. And then when he started getting trained by Mike Tyson, that just opened up another door for him. So yeah, bro, that guy's legit.
Damn, that's awesome to hear.
Think about this. David was as big as Ngannou in 6th grade.
It's fucked up. That's true. That's true.
Crazy. So
yeah,
that was the last time you weren't feeling like you were on top? That was your learning curve when you were in 6th grade and you were 12 years old and you were big?
So I'm gonna tell you exactly what happened too, bro. So the reason why I went over there is because I was in school one time, and then I forgot what I was talking to the teacher about. But then he asked me, he's like, "Do you do any sports and this and that?" I'm like, "Yeah." At the time, I had 10 years boxing, 10 years experience in boxing. I'm like, "Yeah, I've been boxing for 10 years." And everybody I'm no bullshit, bro. Everybody laughed at me. All my friends like, "Oh, shut the fuck up, bro. You do not box. You have not boxed for 10 years." So that's kind of what like led me toward that path. I'm like, bro, I'm getting disrespect. I wasted 10 years of my life boxing, and I tell people I box. Everybody laughs at me, and then I go home. I look at myself in the mirror. I'm a fucking fat ball. Like, what the fuck, bro? Like, what am I gonna do? You know what I mean? So that's kind of what sent me. But I feel like God always does things on purpose. If that wouldn't have happened to me, if the kids wouldn't have laughed at me in school, and if I wouldn't have looked at myself in the mirror, bro, I would have never went back to California, or I would have never went to California to box and really actually accomplish my true destiny. So, yeah, man, things just happen in crazy ways.
Bullying works, man. Bullying can work.
That was such a young age
Exactly.
to be realizing, and then you just took that, and you've probably been on top ever since. Do you have?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been on top. I've been, rising to the top. It's been a tough challenge, bro. Even since back then, I feel like people don't understand how hard combat sports is. Not only doing all the training, but being in the ring. Sometimes you take some hard shots, bro. And sometimes you're like, fuck, I don't even know if I want to continue this career or not, because it really does take a toll on you after a while. So,
Yeah.
and then always just having the dream, bro. I mean, I feel like people, when they have their dream, you could just let that, motivate you, and it does so much for you.
What about?
I mean, I always try to envision myself.
What about when you've realized that
Yeah,
dream? You're 28-0. You've knocked out all these people. You've got the belts. Obviously, there's another part. You want to fight Canelo, but like technically, you've already done it, right? And when you're this successful, how do you go from here and maintain the motivation and keep the effort and the training up, and because people want to take you out. People want to take what you got.
Yeah, so you basically just renew the dream. Now that I know that I've been champion 3 times, I have 3 WBC belts, I know that it's possible. So now we just elevate the dream, you know what I mean? And not only that, is that I want to, financially be able to take care of my family for generations and generations. And the only way I could do that is with boxing. And just, dedicate myself, train even more, keep buying, property, keep buying real estates, and, just make sure my family's good. So that's kind of what's motivating me right now. It's funny that you said that your daughter looked at you in a different way. And I've really felt it when I grabbed my daughter too, bro. When I first grabbed her in my arms, she just gave me a whole different type of motivation. That like it kind of just, it kind of struck a light in my head. Like, well, I really got to put in the work and make sure my kids are taken care of for the rest of their lives. And that's where I'm on now. That, and just, being one of the greatest fighters of my generation.
I think this is highly, highly underrated, but having a wife, right? That like having or not even a wife, just a girl that's like constant, right? And then having kids.
Yeah,
it makes a huge difference.
I think what it
huge difference.
I think what it is too, bro, like last year, like I've really been getting like into more like spiritual stuff, like getting more grounded, like with God. And I feel like, a lot of people, especially young people now, a lot of people are just selfish. They're on their phones all fucking day, Instagram. How it's more about themselves. It's not more about what I could do for my family. It's just more selfishness. And I feel like with my girl, sometimes, she don't let me go out. She don't let me do this, but that's sometimes what I need. You know what I mean? Sometimes we get mad at our women, but that's what because they don't let us leave the house, but that's what we need. We got to stay grounded to the family and all that. And she's really made since when I've been with my wife for 6 years, and she's really made a difference in my life. You know what I mean? And I give all credit to her, because sometimes she didn't let me go out, or sometimes she let me do this and that, but that's what I needed to have this vision that I have right now. And I can't, now I see everything clear, bro. Like, I don't want to waste my time around people that not going to bring anything to my life, or, if I'm just fucking around. I just want to be, completely 100%, just working for my family, you know, like as I look at it now, everything's working out great, bro. So I'm just very happy for my wife, for my kids, and everybody in my team that always keeps me grounded.
Amen.
I just see it as a huge edge personally. Whether it's fighting, whether it's business, whether it's just life in general, right? Like a lot of people are like, no, you need to stay single and focus on your career, and that's how you're going to get to the top. And I think it's a bigger edge to have like a constant person in your life, like your wife, saying, don't go to the club tonight, don't go do this tonight. You got fucking responsibilities to handle, right? And then you got kids that you know you got to be taken care of, and then they're going to have kids you want to take care of. Like I see it as a huge edge personally.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like you grow. You're more what's that word? You're more organized.
Absolutely.
You're more organized, and you're more fuck, it's another fucking.
You
word.
mature real fast when you got.
You're just more on top of shit. Yeah, exactly. You're just more on top of stuff.
Well, there was like a point in UFC. Right now, it's weird. There's a lot of single champions, but there was a point. It was like 90. I mean, all but like one were married, and that's usually the case. I don't know about boxing champions, but more times than not, champions in the UFC are always married or have been for a long time. Interesting you brought that up.
I'm not going to say it wouldn't be fun to be a champion single. It obviously would.
But look, though, you got to get the right one. You got to get either a Latina or like a Filipina.
It's worked for me, dog.
Because the Latina's working for me. She keep me grounded. She cook good food at the house.
That's right.
Mine don't speak to me in Spanish, but, you know, it's all good. She got the skin. I like the skin.
So I lived in Mexico for 5 years. I love Latina women, but I ended up marrying a Filipino, so I'm happy.
What part of Mexico
I
you
was
live
in
in?
Aguascalientes, but I've driven out. I've been all over that country, bro. More than the U.S.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, Mexico is a beautiful place, man. It's a little dangerous, but it's a beautiful place.
I was single. I was 20. I was from 20 years old. I moved down on my 20th birthday until I was 25. I lived in central Mexico, and I had a fucking blast. Hey, it was like being the world champion single down there.
That's crazy. We got to do an episode just on that one day.
I got some wild fucking stories, man.
Right, I bet.
I want to hear this, David. I want to hear this. Give me your top 5 and they don't have to be the best ever, but like your top 5 your favorites, retired and current.
So my top 5 favorites, the first one has to be Prince Nassim Hamed. Second, Roberto Duran. Third, Sugar Ray Leonard. Fourth, Roy Jones Jr. And fifth, Oscar De La Hoya.
What about current?
Interesting.
Who are your favorites?
Current, I like Usyk, Gervonta Davis. I like Devin Haney a lot. Inoue, the Japanese fighter, and the Gypsy King. Yeah, those are my favorites.
Who
right
would
now.
you take in Usyk versus?
Or actually, even Tank Davis. Tank Davis, he's a fucking great fighter.
Tank's great. I mean, we all want to see Tank and Haney. Me and Mike was lucky enough to sit front row at Haney Regis, and Haney put on a fucking clinic. I mean, he looks so smooth.
Yeah, bro. I feel like he's the closest thing next to Floyd,
right?
Because he kind of has the same style. You know, he's really talented.
Now Garcia's kind of fallen under Floyd's wing, right? So
yeah.
That's interesting. I didn't think Garcia was ready for Tank at all when they made that fight.
He wasn't.
And then, you know, just
I didn't think he was either, but I mean, yeah, obviously he wasn't. He got fucking knocked out, but I think he just should have taken some fights before that, man. But I think it was just the money. It was just too much money on the line that they couldn't resist it.
But you know, it goes back to the point we were kind of talking about previously. Like, at least he took the fucking fight, right? Like, he wasn't scared to take the L, right? And he bounced right back.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, let me fight Haney next, right? Like, I don't give a fuck.
I mean, that's a pretty good learning curve. That's a good setup for you to learn. True. You're like, oh, here's 20 mil, and you got to fight Tank, who's, you know, maybe the most vicious puncher when it comes to weight classes. Yeah. Like, he hits people like, I mean, kind of like a Benavidez, man. He kind of really does internal damage. So, you know, Abdul Wahid now. That's his new name is Abdul Wahid.
He changed his name. Yeah.
Man.
So Mike, how did you get into mixed martial arts, and who were the people that you looked up to when you started your journey?
Thanks, man. Thanks for asking. I used to box in a gym with Christy Martin. It was the Mike Tyson style broth of fighting. And this dude, Craig Duncan, he was like 40 and maybe 2 or something as an amateur. He had like 38 knockouts. And then I think he was like 11-1 as a pro. I worked with him for years since I was a little kid. I always liked the boxing. I like brawling. It was kind of my thing. I just like the punches. But then, you know, I was like the first one doing influencer boxing technically because I had boxing ability, but I was the one going into the cage fighting these MMA fighters who could wrestle or take me down or kick me. And I had some abilities in those areas, but all I ever did was just punch people. And there was a time I was like 11-1 as a pro MMA fighter with 11 knockouts. I had knocked out everyone that I had beaten, and I lost a decision at that time. And but you know, I got to the UFC at like 6-0 with 6 knockouts. I hadn't been to the third round. You know, with those 4-ounce gloves.
Yeah, it's way different.
You know, there's some good hits in there. And then we had elbows. I had knocked some people out with elbows and knees, and the ground and pound was pretty nice. We're actually working on a league of our own where we're gonna, you know, pin boxers, fighters in a pit. We're gonna do a mixed style of boxing, a little bit of clinching, and possibly even ground and pound. Once you knock the opponent down, you can ground and pound them for like 5 seconds. We're trying to maybe make a fight league, Platinum Pit Fights or something like that, and get some good fighters to come fight over there so we could mix up the, you know, because all the MMA fighters are coming over and doing boxing, and there's only been like a couple boxers in history that have ever gone over to the MMA scene and fought. Like James Toney did it in the UFC, and so we wanna get these boxers and MMA fighters to fight against each other a little bit more
in a hybrid rule set.
No, yeah, that would be dope, man.
I got a quick one for you.
Yeah, I think, you know, 4 to 6 ounce. I think 6 really, right? I think 6 is probably the right number.
No, do 4.
You know,
Are you
6
kidding
ounce
me?
gloves. I think you like 4. You like 4. I like.
No,
that.
everyone likes
I'll just
4.
say this: when I called Roy, well, look, when I called Roy, he said 6. He said 6 gets you the really good boxers that'll come over as well and do it. You know, and that's what you want. You want like a clean promotion that you can really promote, and it's very marketable. But yeah.
Fuck it, do 4 or 6.
So David, are you like a maniacal sports fan? Do you watch every big fight? You know, some fighters are, some fighters aren't. So are you one of those guys that likes to watch every fight? Do you watch football? Like,
yeah, I love any combat sport. I love. That's why I was asking him about what guys used to watch back then, because I used to watch a shitload of MMA, bro. I used to love watching Pride.
Oh shit.
I used to watch Vanderlei Silva, Rampage. Who's that other fucking guy? Shogun. You know Shogun when they're in
Hendo
Pride
versus Shogun.
Well, yeah, I love all that stuff. I'm a big fan of the UFC too. One of my favorite fighters is George St. Pierre too. So I watch all those fights, man. I'm a really big fan. I don't really watch anything else besides combat. I don't watch basketball, soccer, football, none of that. Just straight combat sports for me.
Who are your favorite UFC fighters that you enjoy watching right now?
Right now, I like Sean O'Malley, and I like him because he's from he lives in Phoenix too, so he's like a Phoenix native. Sean O'Malley. I like Mike. Mike is a great fighter. He's not in the UFC, but he's a combat sports. Mike Perry.
Thank you, bro. Do
who
you
else?
know Phil
And I like
Rowe?
Sean Strickland too. Maybe if I see him.
Philip Rowe, man.
I'm not too
Philly
sure.
fresh.
Did you say Strickland?
Yeah, he said
Talk
Strickland.
Oh yeah. I do know. Yeah. Fresh. Yeah, he has a little the little hair, kind of like a miniature fro.
Yeah. The flat top.
He used to train in Phoenix. He used to train in Phoenix. Yeah, flat top. There you go.
He talk about
Yeah, I
you.
know. He's a cool dude, bro. Yeah, shout out to him. He's a bro.
Hey, Mike, you need to tell him to grow that fucking beard back out, though. No disrespect, Phil, but Don't hit me when I see you next time, but you need to grow that beard back out, brother.
He's doing his thing right
Yeah,
now,
so it's
man.
funny. I know that guy from Phoenix, bro. He's a cool dude. I used to train. We used to train in this gym. Power MMA.
Yeah.
I used to spar when I was 15. I used to spar Ryan Bader and CB
What
Dalloway.
the fuck?
Yeah. So that's where I met him at. Yeah, but they're all cool dudes.
Damn,
You're
I'm
a
surprised
legend,
you
bro.
know a lot about MMA. Yeah, he knows a lot.
I used to spar bro. My dad was the type of crazy Mexican dude that he'd make me spar
That's
everybody.
fucking dope.
He'd make me everybody that was over 200 pounds. He'd make me spar everybody, and I held my ground, bro. I gave all these guys a beating too. So I'm proud of that. That we got over that hump. Because honestly, at the end of the day, bro, you always got to face your own fears, and if you have confidence in yourself, you could do anything.
Absolutely.
So I heard that when you were like 15, you were 15-0 in amateur boxing, and your dad took you to Mexico to go pro at 15.
Yeah, so we turned professional at I think it was 16. But yeah, I started my professional career at 16 because you can't fight in the United States. You have to be 18 years old. So we fought in Mexico until I turned 18, and then I did my U.S. pro debut actually a week after my birthday, in December. But yeah, man, my dad, he's a crazy dude, bro. Since we were little kids, he's made me train 3 times a day. Made me spar as much as I can. But like I said, if it wasn't for my dad, bro, I wouldn't have anything that I have in my life. So I really give him all his flowers because he's pushed me and he's had his vision since we were little kids. When I was a little kid, I'm thinking my dad, like, damn, my dad's crazy as motherfucker. He must hate me because he makes me run every day, train every day. I can't eat anything, you know what I mean? So,
Dang.
but he's always had the vision, bro. He knew the bigger picture even since before I even knew it. So, I'm just very, very really grateful for my dad.
That's awesome, man. I mean, I see your son is already pretty good on the gloves. Like, he puts the gloves on and like hits the bag. My son's like, I think the same age, if not a little older or something. And man, I can't get him.
How old is your son?
He turned 3 in January.
Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, my son turned 3 in September.
Oh, okay. So mine's a little bit younger than yours,
so
but
the
he
same
won't.
age. Yeah.
Man, I can't get him to do the stuff, but like, I don't even want him to fight. Like, do you want your son to take over the family business?
So I mean, kind of like I think I kind of do want him to take the legacy over because boxing, bro, it's changed my life completely. It's given me financial freedom. It's helped me help out a lot of my friends. I give my friends jobs and stuff, and it's made me live a really comfortable life. So if he could if I could get him right, train him to the skill set that I know he could accomplish, then yeah. But if he doesn't want to box, I'm not gonna push him to it. But he's a little fighter, bro. Yeah, he tries to fight everybody. We take him to the playgrounds and shit. He's always trying to fight these little kids. So I think he might just take the legacy over.
We definitely need my kid to hang out with yours so your son can punch on him, bro. I'll be like, come on, dude, fight back, bro. What you doing?
Yeah, they can get some training in.
That's great, man. Hey, bro, it has been a pleasure having you.
Hang on one second. You got a few more minutes, David? I got somebody else coming on real quick.
Oh, we got a special guest to say hello. Y'all,
my dog. What's up, Roy? Good.
What's up? How y'all doing?
Hey, pull that phone back a little bit.
I'm doing good. What's up, champ? How you doing?
Doing good, Roy. It's a pleasure to have you on here, bro. Thank you so much for joining this call with us, man. Like I said, I want to take this opportunity to tell you that I've been a lifelong fan. That I even know all your songs. I know all your songs. I sing all your songs on training. Man, it's awesome to have you on here.
That's good looking out. I really appreciate that. Thank you, man. Thank you so much for that. You're a great champion. You're doing great things. And I appreciate the fact that you're challenging everybody out there. You ain't ducking nobody. You ain't dodging nobody. You want them all because you want to be the best. And that's how boxing should be.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Great job there. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And I'm glad you followed my career because that's what I stood for. You understand me? And I can tell you followed it because I know what you stand for. You want them all, and that's how it's
Yeah,
supposed to
thank
be.
you.
Hell yeah.
And then also too, before while I have you here, I just want to tell you that I watched your fight versus Richard Hall probably at least 1,000,000 times, bro. That's probably the best fight I've ever seen in my
Right?
life. So thank you so much for giving us those highlights that
It was one of
we can learn off of.
Thank you, brother. It was one of my favorites and one of my best performances because I wanted to perform for that audience because they're not used to seeing boxing in Indiana. So when I came to Indiana, I wanted to give them something special so they can remember it and have more fighters come back. You understand me? So I don't do what I do for me. God bless me to do it for the sport of boxing and for you guys. So now they understand when they bring you guys, it could be more than they expect to see.
Yes,
And that's
sir.
why I did that.
Well, thank you so much, Roy. Really
And
appreciate
I'm
you.
inspired, bro.
Roy,
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
how
Thank you for having
how
my
bad do
bags.
we need Canelo
I
and
appreciate it, brother.
Benavidez,
They got
Roy?
that cake.
How bad do we need Canelo and
Huh?
Benavidez?
We need that very bad because Benavidez wants to prove that he's one of the best out there. And to fight Canelo is a big fight for him, the biggest fight of his career, but he wants it. It ain't like he's ducking and dodging it. When Canelo had the opportunity to fight Floyd, it was too early for him, but it was the biggest fight, so he took it. So now Benavidez wants all the marbles. He wants everybody. And right now, Canelo was the man. He want to be the man. So to be the man, you got to do what? You got to beat the man. But the man got to be willing to fight you. So boxing needs that fight very bad. I don't care what they
This
say.
is inspiring
Damn right.
stuff right
This
here,
is
man.
inspired as shit.
And after that, the winner of the super middleweight division should go fight the winner of the light heavyweight division because now B-Ball and Benavidez gonna fight, so they're gonna figure out who the best light heavyweight. So at the same time, if these two fight and figure out who the best super middleweight, now the best super middleweight can fight the best light heavyweight. That's how boxing should go. That's what boxing is supposed to be about. You heard me? I don't care what nobody else say. That's how boxing
WBC,
goes.
sign me up.
And I know he want to do it because I know who he is.
I'm,
Huh? He grew up watching me.
Yeah,
He know
for
what it
sure.
is.
I gotta say, guys, this is a fucking great moment here, right
this
here.
is
Love it.
incredible.
Oh, and Roy, happy fucking birthday, brother.
Yeah, happy birthday,
Happy birthday,
champ.
brother.
Yeah, happy birthday, Roy.
Happy birthday, man.
Hey, thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you, my brother. Thank y'all all. Thank all y'all. I
Of
appreciate
course,
that.
man.
Thank y'all
Roy,
so much.
thank you for coming on, man. I just wanted to get you on here while we had David in. I know you guys, are big fans of each other, so I wanted to see if we could get that done.
Yep. Without a question. Keep doing what you're doing, David. Glad to see you. Keep up the good work, brother. You're doing a great job. I love it.
Thank
Keep
you,
the legacy
brother.
going, all right? Peace by the
Thank
end
you
of
so
business.
much.
Thank you, Ice Bags. Hey, good to see y'all. The rest of y'all, thank y'all too.
All right,
And look
brother.
forward to seeing y'all
Thank
soon,
you.
all right?
you.
Peace.
Peace.
Birthday boy out.
That's
Man, I fucking
incredible
love
stuff
that dude.
right there,
I
man.
fucking love
It was
that.
dope, man. Yeah, but thank you guys so much. I appreciate the conversation, bro. And then if you guys ever want me back anytime, just let me know. I'll be down to come back.
Yeah, appreciate that, David. Listen up, Canelo. I mean, if you got fucking Benavidez and Roy on the same show together saying the fight needs to happen, the fucking fight needs to happen.
Jake Paul, the fight needs to happen, bro. You and me, let's go. You knocked that dude out real quick in that last little boxing match here in Orlando. Fucking let's go, bro. Stop ducking. Put me and you on co-main event on the Benavidez card. Let's go, bro. We need something incredible, dog. I deserve it. I stick my finger through your fucking eye socket, bro. I deserve it, bro. I fight like no one else. I fight like the Mexican monster too.
Could you imagine the numbers that would do with Canelo and Benavidez and then Jake Paul and Mike Perry on the fucking undercard? I mean, that'd be fucking monstrous.
2024 is off to a weird start. We were talking about that. Who knows, bro? Maybe we
Might
get
as
that
well.
shit. Might as fucking well. Might as well.
Yeah.
All right, guys. This has been another fantastic episode of Overdogs Podcast, Kenpai Media, sponsored by Overdogs Bet. We had the great David Mexican Monster Benavidez on here today. It was an honor to talk to him. He's out here doing big, successful things as as his ice bags every day of the week is out here doing big, successful things. So we all, we all just trying to come up out here, man. Thank you guys for watching. Mac Malley with his shades on as usual, man. He's always too cool for school. I appreciate you guys, man.
This podcast episode was brought to you by Overdogs Bet. Sign up today for early beta access and free play at overdogsbet.com/beta.